Intel Next Gen CPU cores and families unearthed, Douglas Cove for Adams Lake and Sheldonmont for Cooper Forest. Intel has some new cores in town and 2 new CPU families as revealed in the latest Linux code patches, which have unearthed the Adams Lake client and Cooper Forest server chips. Intel Adams Lake with Douglas Cove cores and Cooper Forest with Sheldonmont cores could be next-gen CPUs for client and server platforms. In an attempt to clear up its Family 6 CPU naming scheme, Intel might have exposed its 2 next-gen CPU cores and families, reports Unearthed. It is reported that Intel's Family 6 CPU is coming to an end. The Family 6 CPU ID has been running since the P6 architecture, which was featured in the Pentium Pro lineup in the 90s, and that's about to change soon as Intel has sent out patches that'll be used to modify the CPU Family ID identification and model naming criteria. In doing so, Intel has revealed what could be its next generation CPU cores and CPU families, which might be featured under the new CPU Family ID. These new families include Adams Lake and Cooper Forest. Both families have also been defined with a new core architecture. Adams Lake is set to feature the new Douglas Cove P-core architecture, while Cooper Forest is set to feature the new Sheldonmont T-core architecture. It is currently unclear which CPU families will Adams Lake and Cooper Forest replace. What we do know is that Air Lake and Lunar Lake will be followed by Panther Lake, and there's also word on Nova Lake being the successor to that. So it is possible either sometime after or between Nova Lake, we will see the introduction of Adams Lake for client CPUs based on the Douglas Cove Arch. For Cooper Forest, it could be the successor to Clearwater Forest, which itself is the successor to the upcoming Sierra Forest lineup. All 3 families are based on the E-core architecture, which is identified by the Mont naming convention. 2024 Sierra Forest will utilize the Sierra Glen E-core, an upgraded version of Crestmont. 2025's Clearwater Forest will utilize the Darkmont E-core, an upgraded version of Skymont, and Cooper Forest will be the follow-up that will utilize the new Sheldonmont cores. The Intel Family 6 IDs will still show up for a couple of years, since Clearwater Forest and Lunar Lake are already using those.